Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This Shabbos is a very special Shabbos. Shabbos Vayakhel Adar Sheni, the Shabbos which blesses the double month of Adar, the second month in which we have the holiday of Purim and the great celebration of the salvation of the Jewish people, of Inahapechu, the full turnover of the Jewish people. And so we're very much looking forward to celebrating just in a couple of weeks a very special holiday. And tonight it was Shabbat 500 with more than 18 IDF reservists joining us for this very special Shabbos as we celebrate the return and hopefully the ultimate victory of the Jewish people. This Shabbos we have the Torah portion of Vayakhel. And Vayakhel, we have one of the most famous moments in all of Jewish history that happens once and never happens again. And that is that the Jewish people bring so many donations to the tabernacle that Moshe has to say, enough. Stop bringing. It was the first and last time that a Jewish organization said stop delivering gold and silver to their Beit HaMikdash, to their holy temples, to their organizations. But it did bring the word of Vayakhel. Vayakhel means and he gathered. It was very much a community effort. The whole building of a tabernacle was a community effort. Every part of it. And it's interesting because the Torah portion of Vayakhel and Pekudei are very similar to Teruma and Tetzavim. You know, we talk about atonement in the last week's Torah portion. It takes up a number of verses. We talk about major events in the Torah portion. It takes up a number of verses. But the building of the tabernacle takes up 4 entire Torah portions. 2 of the Teruma and Tetzaveh, 2 of the talking about the instructions of how to build it, and Vayakhel Pekudei, the actual implementation and the actual development of the tabernacle. And it's all because the purpose of the building of this place was to create a dwelling place for Hashem down here, to create a space where God can feel comfortable down here. And the Rebbe spoke about this in one of his talks, that why was it necessary to have talking about the general idea and the actual implementation? We talk about the big idea of the Mishkan, and then we have to actually talk about, we could have just said, and it was implemented and it was built, and the tabernacle was built as is. But God goes through such detail in order to talk about the development and the actual building of the tabernacle in this week's parsha. And this is where the most important idea comes in, and that is Hamaiseh Ha'ikr. The main thing is action. We're very big about big ideas. You know, a lot of people, they like to have meetings in order to have a next meeting, But the Rebbe was very much about getting things done, about having action. Hamaiseh Ha'ikr, the main thing is always to have action and to get the job done. And so while philosophically, the idea of the tabernacle is something that we're very much connected to, the philosophical ideas behind it. The actual development of the tabernacle, the development of the Beit HaMikdash was something that actually had to be spoken about to realize the importance of seeing through an idea and not just talking philosophically or spiritually or metaphysically, but actually building something physically down here. And it's a very powerful lesson for us in life. A lot of times we'll spend a lot of time and energy theorizing, philosophizing, getting spiritual about ideas, but we don't actually bring those ideas into our practical daily life. We talk about how we're going to do something, but we don't actually do it. And therefore God spends all this time in order to teach us that the main thing is the deed, Hamaiseh Ha'ikr. And as we go into this and especially with the community effort of Vayakhel, it was to bring all together the community and show how the entire community came out and to take action. That was a most important thing to elaborate on and to name this Parshat Vayakhel, to develop this idea. And it's a very powerful idea in our own communities, that we have to not just talk about ideas or talk about how we're going to fix education, talk about how we're going to fix anti-Semitism, talk about how we're going to fix the assimilation, but actually take action as a community, build real physical foundations and ideas to change these things on the ground, not just philosophically or in a metaphysical idea and a hopeful idea, but actually take actions to transform our community in a real way. And this is the message that Torah gives us this Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and we hope to see you tonight. Shabbat 500 with our IDF reserves tomorrow morning, 10:15. Special Kiddush in honor of Shabbos Vayakhel and Farbrengen of Adar Sheni, the second Adar, and of course Purim just 2 weeks away. Shabbat Shalom.